Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a good night's sleep and all that stuff. I know I didn't. And I know I was supposed to do a video about this, but some things came up and I didn't get around to make the video, so I decided this morning to go for a live stream. Now, for those people that are tuning in and all that stuff, I am putting all the information in the description of the live stream. It should be available as soon as this live stream ends and becomes a regular video on my channel. You'll be able to should be able to see all the links and all that important stuff in the description below. Now, I want to start off by talking about the situation. Several days ago, in fact, actually back on June 18th, a video came out from a YouTuber called Trey Citizen. He is pretty much one of the newest ones to get out there and start doing civil rights testing, filming, and all that stuff. And he had quite the interesting video that came out where he's doing a First Amendment test on the Greer Police Department. And he ends up getting arrested. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at what's going on with the video here. And this first part is going to be from his perspective in his specific video. Here, and whiten this up a bit.
I'm going to do a little walking on this side. We got a car coming, make sure he's out his way. Autofocus. I feel like he's maybe.
Okay, and we're going to skip this forward for the initial part of the encounter here.
How are you today?
What's your name and badge number?
I'm Corporal Shrad at the Greer Police Department. How are you?
I'm alright.
Okay. Is there any reason why you're videotaping? Just curious. You're not in any kind of trouble. There's nothing here other than we got called and told that you were walking around the parking lot. So, any particular reason for it? No, you're not going to answer. So we're just going to have a stare off because I'm recording you and you're recording me. Is that what we're going to do? Do you have your ID on you?
Have I done anything wrong?
Well, you're recording a suspicious activity, which puts this into a category of suspicious activity, which means that Terry versus Ohio, I can detain you until I can determine or deny that there's no criminal activity.
Terry v. Ohio says suspicious activity is not enough for reasonable cause for ID.
There's already a call on it, so yes.
So suspicious activity, is that a felony or misdemeanor?
That's a misdemeanor.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And I can't believe you just sat here and lied.
Yep.
And there we go. We can already see we got stuff going on here. The officer sat there and says, "Oh, it's a misdemeanor for the specific issue." Well, for him filming because it's suspicious activity. That's straight up BS right there. And this shows the importance. Sometimes the silent treatment is not always the best way to go about things. Sometimes that little bit of interaction, asking the right questions, can show ignorance and gather evidence for your thing. But you got to go about it in a certain way. And to Red Lemon's thing, is this incident that took place? Yes, this is about the incident that took place, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and jump this forward to when the other officer arrives here. And this is where things get a lot more interesting.
It's suspicious of felony or misdemeanor.
It's neither one, but he asked.
Okay, thank you. So he said it was a misdemeanor. So now we have a conflict on which one it is.
We don't have a conflict at all. We have a conflict with
hold on,
the way you're acting,
whoa,
sir.
whoa.
Taping
Whoa.
on parking lot in today's
Whoa.
day and age. That's fine.
Whoa.
That's fine. You ain't got to whoa nothing.
Whoa.
Today,
What's your name and badge number?
my badge number is 201. It's
Whoa.
Lieutenant Holcomb.
Whoa.
HOLCOMBE. Now,
Whoa.
let me have an ID.
This is the intimidation factor right
Let me
here.
have an ID. please.
What crime have
An
I
ID.
committed?
An
What
ID.
crime have I committed?
An ID.
What crime have I
An
committed?
ID. You're gonna be failure to listen to a law enforcement officer ask you for an ID.
What crime
You
have I
got an
committed?
ID?
What
Have you got an
crime?
ID?
What crime have I
Have you
committed?
got an ID?
What crime have I committed?
Videotaping our parking lot and walking around the police
Is that a
department.
crime?
Yes, sir. Right now, in
It is.
the day and age that we're dealing with, yes, sir, it is a crime.
What crime have I committed today?
Anytime there's a suspicious person,
Is
that's
that a
going
felony
around,
or a misdemeanor?
it's a. Let me see
Whoa,
your ID.
whoa.
You got the cap.
And there we have pretty much the initiation of in this day and age. And that is a very annoying thing, because in this day and age, guess what? Everybody has a camera. Everyone has a right to film. Everybody has a right to freedom of the press, freedom of speech, to document and report and put out information and do these tests. And so let's go ahead and let it continue playing here, because the arrest is just about ready to happen.
Whoa! You're going to jail.
Now you gotta see, I got one hand on my camera.
1,
Whoa!
2.
Don't shoot
3.
me.
You're under arrest.
Whoa!
You're now under arrest. So you got John D on me? So you got John D on me?
Oh, I like to tell my name not to pick anybody. So I just...
And there's the arrest. And can the FBI, according to Chris here, can the FBI or the South Carolina AG be contacted as well? I haven't had a chance to look up those phone numbers specifically for that state, but if you guys end up finding them for me, that'd be very handy. As I said, I ended up getting busy last night, so I didn't get all the information I wanted to dig up together, but I do have some quite the interesting tidbits that are going to be coming up. Now, at one point, also, someone pointed out something very interesting in this video on Reddit, and this is the interesting part. At 6:45, there's a radio playing, and it literally talks about constitutional rights. And so I'm going to go ahead and skip to that portion here so we can hear that.
I'm the one surprised. Get that point. Move from friendly conversations.
And so that is actually quite hilarious. Thank you for that Skinneege, or however you want to pronounce that username, for pointing that one out. I actually completely missed that. Also, during that time frame, according to Trey, they talk about well, we're at 7:55. They talk about deleting video footage, and you can't really hear it too well in this video, but they were, I guess you could say, smart or dumb enough to actually post their body camera footage, which I'm totally for. In fact, it gives us their perspective on pulling up, and I'll play a few parts of this here.
Hey, how are you today? How are you today?
Name and badge number?
I'm Corporal Shroud at the Greer Police Department. How are you?
I'm alright.
Okay. Is there any reason why you're videotaping? I'm just curious. You're not in any kind of trouble. There's nothing here other than we got called and told that you were walking around the parking lot. So, any particular reason for it?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move this forward to when the cops are talking with each other, so we can hear their conversation.
We got a call on you. We got a call that he was walking through filming the Century Insurance parking lot and then filming our parking lot. I guess he filmed Hemrick when he drove by, so I got out, I started talking to him. I just wouldn't answer me at all. Just, what's your name, badge number? So, and I said, you're not doing anything wrong at this point if you're just filming, but, you know, we got a call on you, it's suspicious activity. This is what's your reason for doing it. He wouldn't answer me. What crime have I committed? Because I said, okay, well now. And I told him, I said, under Terry versus Ohio, now you're being suspicious, so I can detain you and I need to see your ID. What crime have I committed? He doesn't have any ID on him. No wallet or nothing. So
It's probably going to be that guy from Fowler Brothers that Brent got out with that night. I'll look it up on the intel site and see. That's probably what it's going to be. He brought up Terry with the Ohio.
no, I'm the one that brought it up.
Yeah.
You know, why I was at that point. We moved from friendly conversation.
He probably doesn't have it. We probably wouldn't worry about it.
Well,
People being attacked and stuff outside the damn thing.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then you're doing a private facility as well.
That's right.
We got
Church.
daycare right
We
there.
got a church. We got a daycare. We got all that. He's doing it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay.
What's that?
If you want to put me on it, that's fine.
Okay.
Issue the citation. Do whatever. Once we figure out who he is, let's issue the citation. Do whatever.
Okay. You want me to jail him or you want me to cut him?
Huh?
You want me to jail him or do you want me to?
If we figure out who he is and do whatever, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. That's inside.
Okay. I think what I'll do too is LT. I think what I'll do too is because I don't know what's on that cell phone or what he's recording.
What's that?
I think that cell phone should be held as evidence until we figure out what might be on it.
That may be a good idea.
I mean, who knows what he's been filming
I think
or
that's
why.
a good idea. And get a talk with the detective, see if we get a search warrant for it to download everything on it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I've got your phone.
And I didn't really hear anything about deleting, but the thing is right there, it's like, oh, we're gonna download everything on the phone as evidence. I'm wondering how that warrant's gonna turn out, especially after everybody has seen these videos and all that stuff. So moving on, the city attorney came out with a press release yesterday, and pretty much as one person put it on Reddit, the Wampanoag effect really happened quickly with this police department. They essentially doubled down on stupidity, I guess you could sort of say. And I'm going to go ahead and read through just the initial parts, I guess you could say, could be triggering and making fun of course, those social justice warriors that have triggers. Anyway, our country and our community and law enforcement agencies which protect them are facing triple threat, including 1, mass shootings, 2, terrorist threats, and 3, targeting of law enforcement officers. Now, what does that have to do with filming in public? What does that have to do with filming in a public location, which you are allowed to do under the First Amendment? On Wednesday, June 15, 2016, just 3 days after the worst mass shooting in U.S. history, the Greer Police Department was notified that an individual was videotaping municipal court, police department building, and the adjoining parking lot from both Main and Miller Streets. In addition to police vehicles, police officers, police department, and municipal court staff, and members of the public park their personal vehicles in this lot. Okay, this is a perfectly legal activity in the United States. You can film anything that is visible from a public location in the United States. At this particular time, the city court was taking place, and many citizens attending court had also parked in this lot. Because of security concerns, 3 officers responded. They repeatedly asked the individual to provide identification and explanation of why he was videotaping this area. The individual, later identified as Dante Valentine, would not answer and continued to videotape the parking lot area. This heightened security concerns of the officers. Okay, here's the thing. Have they not heard of the Fifth Amendment? Have they not heard the right to remain silent that applies even in a consensual encounter or an investigative situation? The deal is, with this kind of situation, if you cannot get any information out of the person, you document them in whatever ways you can. If they're a really big concern, then you follow the person. Which, I mean, yeah, it's entertaining for me because then I have a challenge to figure out how to best lose them kind of situation. I make it a cat and mouse game. I enjoy it if they end up following me, if you've seen my J-Bear video, which most of you have. Now, let's continue on with this. Because Mr. Valentine would not respond, he was taken into custody in order to determine his identity and motives for videotaping the building and the cars in the parking lot. Subsequently, it was learned that he was doing this in a pre-planned effort to, quote, bait the police department in hopes that it would invoke a response which could be used to create controversy concerning conduct of law enforcement officers. He had previously done this at the Greensville Sheriff's Department, and it was also learned that he posted the videos of these incidents on YouTube under his channel called First Amendment Audit. No, that's not the name of his channel last time I checked, but it could have changed it when I wasn't looking. I'm not really too concerned, but the common name is First Amendment Audit for this kind of activity, or as I call it, First Amendment Test. Either way, it still appropriately applies to this situation. The videos of this incident are posted on the police department website and may be viewed by the public. After the police identified Mr. Valentine and determined the reason he was videotaping this area, he was charged with interfering with police and released 2.5 hours later. It is unfortunate that in this time of heightened security concerns for all of us and for our law enforcement agencies in particular, Mr. Valentine chose to do this. It was regrettable that he chose not to provide his name or address or reveal the reason for his behavior. He could have chosen to provide his name and address and the reason for his actions when questioned by the officers. He also could have notified the department before he started videotaping the area and the reason therefore. Had he chosen to do either, this incident would have been avoided. Okay. Here's the interesting part that they put out. Prior notification. No. We are testing your response to respect people's civil rights in a in a manner that shows the closest to reality situation that a general person might have encounter cops filming. We are not going to contact the police department beforehand to let them know we're going to test them. That they're going to know, oh, this is a test, and not screw with them. Screw with the person that's filming. No, we want to see, are they going to respect the person's right? Are they going to come up and interact with them? Are they going to be courteous? Are they going to be professional? If they can be courteous and professional and do things right, guess what? In general, that means they did a good job. And depending on the YouTuber or activist that's doing the filming, it may end up being a video that's positive about the police department and could be good PR. Now, of course, those kinds of videos don't generally get a lot of attention, so a lot of people don't waste the time on editing those videos and uploading them because no one really wants to watch a pass. Everybody wants to watch the failure. I'm sorry, but that's just how the internet works. Let's see here. The Greer Police Department is constantly training to prepare for all kinds of security incidents. It will use this incident to train officers concerning the ways and methods to deal with situations like this and to ensure our community is safe as possible. In the event Mr. Valentine should sue, the city and the police department will vigorously defend the lawsuit. The Greer Police Department will continue to vigilantly protect the safety and security of our community. And this is John Dugan, city attorney. Yeah, that's quite the interesting thing because you know what? You have opened yourself up for a lawsuit for violating a man's civil rights. He has the right to not answer. And so, how are things going here? Let's see here. Double check back on the chat log here. In this day and age, police are shooting innocent people at a greater rate than terrorists photographing a building. That is very true. That's City Addy is part of the problem. In this day and age, do you mean this day and age where more Americans are killed by police officers than terrorists on American soil? Yeah, it's actually, those are very two accurate statements. And as one person posted, call him. Well, how nice of me to also be able to dig up the city attorney's, I guess, law firm webpage, which has the contact information, including an email. So if you end up seeing this video live stream after closing hours or whatever, well, you have the option of flooding his inbox with your comments and criticisms about his legal understanding. Now, we all know that the city attorney is hired to defend the city, and he is doing his job to defend the city. Unfortunately, the facts do not go in the city's favor or the police department's favor. So we'll see how this really turns out on that issue. Now, also, I want to point out some interesting news articles that came out about this incident. And the first one I want to cover is WSPA, which is Channel 7 News over in that area. And they actually started out a video posted on YouTube account. Trey Citizen shows a man taking a video on his phone camera at a municipal court and police department in Greer. And this is where it gets really good. The video shows police officers approaching the man, later identified as Dante Valentine, and asking him to identify himself as reported as a suspicious person. Valentine refused to identify himself in the video because he said he was doing nothing wrong. He was arrested and charged with interfering with police, according to the city. There are 24 states with stop and identify laws that allow police to ask for person's ID whom they have reasonable suspicion of wrongdoing. South Carolina is not one of those states. Law enforcement can question you, but you are not required to answer. The YouTube channel has 2 other videos called First Amendment Audits. In these videos, the man is taking the video insults and flips off officers, and then they go into quoting the press release. And also, of course, you got the local comments. But I love how this article opened up and said, hey, we're not a stop and identify state, and literally informed the viewers or the readers that you're not required to answer. But this is just one publication that I say, this is a great one. And I want to see people give kudos and attention to the person that wrote this article and the news company. This other one, on the other hand, Fox Carolina, is a different one. And while I could read this part, it does not do justice for the video. Unfortunately, I had to do something a little bit different with this, and I had to pre-record the video. And let's see here. I got this right. Oh wait, I've got the wrong video up here. Give me a sec here. I think I got the wrong video. Ah, okay. That's strange. I had it preloaded and everything, and somehow... Oh, that's right. Now I know what happened. Give me a second here. And... Here we go. Oops.
YouTube video. What do you think? Some would say it's a man exercising his First Amendment rights, staking out at a police department and videotaping. Others might say it goes too far, putting officers and the public on edge just a week after the terror attack in Orlando. Well, the man behind this, what he calls the First Amendment audit, is named Deontay Valentine. He's been arrested for interfering with police, but he argues he did nothing illegal.
He goes around with the video camera, asks police questions like what you just saw, and Fox Carolina's Shale Ramin sat down with an attorney to find out what anyone's rights would be in this type of situation. Shale?
Well, Diana and Cody, most people find these videos to be shocking, including the attorney I sat down with today. He says this is a form of petition, but people like this man have to be careful not to cross a certain line. If officers feel like someone is posing a threat filming, they have every right to arrest them.
This right here is a waste of taxpayers' money.
The man behind the camera, Deontay Valentine, is one of many filming for the Trend First Amendment audit, a movement where people bait police officers, seeing if they will infringe on First Amendment rights.
Let me see
Whoa,
your ID.
whoa.
You got the count of
Whoa.
three or you're going to jail.
Now you gotta see, I got one hand on my camera.
One,
Whoa.
two,
Don't shoot
three.
me.
In Greer, Valentine stood outside the police station, and after asking to see Valentine's ID several times, police arrested him for interfering with police. The Greer city manager released this statement to Fox Carolina saying, quote, subsequently it was learned that he was doing this in a pre-planned effort to bait the police department in hopes that it would invoke a response which could be used to create a controversy concerning the conduct of the law enforcement officers.
He is drawing unnecessary attention to himself at a time when suspicions are incredibly high.
We sat down with attorney Grant Varner in Greenville to see if Valentine was within his rights.
That's going to cause almost an alarming reaction. And if that officer suspects for even a moment that this young man was armed or had any ill intentions for the people at that building, the officer is certainly well within the confines of the law to perform either a Terry stop and check him for firearm.
And one stop wasn't enough. Valentine staked out the Greenville courthouse, flipping off officers and using curse words.
A waste.
As he walks past another officer, he flips him the bird without saying anything. That's lewd and obscene behavior. Right there, those officers could have taken action to go ahead and arrest this man.
Varner adds every person has the right to protest, but if officers feel there is suspicious activity or a threat to the public, that is not considered infringing on your rights. He says in the world we live in today and the recent mass shooting, law enforcement is on high alert.
Most people in that building would very well have had a fear given the times that we're living in.
Now, we reached out to Valentine for an interview, but he was unavailable. The city manager also added in that statement that if Valentine were to sue the police department, they would, quote, be prepared to defend the lawsuit and safety will always be a top priority for them. Live in Greer, Shale Ramin, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah. I'm wondering who that attorney is and where'd they dig him up from. Because, I mean, any competent lawyer would point out that, yeah, you can have a fear and security, but a person has rights. And on top of that, be arrested for an obscene gesture. Last time I checked, giving the middle finger to the police is a constitutionally protected act. In fact, there was a major court ruling on that. I love some of these comments. This report is misinformation at its finest. He is full of shit. That attorney is a complete disgrace. And I do agree. Yeah, it's pretty... That is just insane. And what's going on here? Is everybody brain dead in that area, or I mean, most of the people, when it comes to civil rights? And so that just really shows what we're dealing with in some areas. And the people that are more well known, like me, the Batosai, Tom Zebra, we got our faces known to some extent. We can sort of change how we do things, but in general, if we go and film an area over and over, well, in a general region, we're going to be known about. And so it's sort of important that we get new people out there and testing in some areas that we've been filming in the first place and in areas that we've never filmed in. Because it shows that the problem in the areas where the first activists have really kicked up and really started filming still have some issues. And the lessons that have been learned by those police departments and law enforcement agencies has not spread really outside of those areas. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to getting you guys contact information here. And let's see here. I'm trying to figure out which tab. Here is a screenshot of contact information for the city of Greer from their website. And you know what? I thought I had that copied over. Give me a second here. And I'm going to try to pull up their city page again that had all that information. Here we go. And the screenshot of this specific link is available in the description. And a quick little hack thing for you guys. If you're just viewing this live stream and it will take a while for it to process to become public video, if you just leave the window open, you can actually go back and forth and watch the stuff while you wait for the live stream to become a full-fledged YouTube video. That can take a little bit of time depending on how much stuff's going on for the servers. But here's the Greer Police Department page here, and there is the phone and fax number. So if you don't have time to talk on the phone, you can always send them a quick fax when you have a chance. And then, as I said, below here is the contact information, so you can call them. Here's the PIO, administrative person phone number. So this one would probably be the one you want to call up. And then, of course, you can call up their general number there, too, and see what that gets you on that part. And the other thing is this is their Facebook page. I'm actually going to refresh it because it's been a while since I've looked at it. You'll have to ignore this stupid Facebook thing. You can't get rid of it. In fact, I'm very annoyed with Facebook in general because of stuff like that. And they have been taking a pounding since this first started here, as you notice. Not now, Facebook. I don't care about logging in or anything like that. Anyway, and you can sort of scroll through here and see that people have been criticizing and commenting. In fact, actually, the reviews, too, have been going nuts. One person actually pointed out there was a review from 2 years ago which said the police department is shit. But they are just taking a pounding as is when this video was first released. I am very glad that people are getting on there and vocalizing the grievances they have with the way these officers have conducted themselves in the first place. And as you can see, it has been just people posting left and right. Oh, wait. Hey, there's News Now Houston. David Warren. Yeah, and so there you go. Quite the busy time. And it looks like they're posting the others too. Yeah, I mean, the other threads are getting hit up. And also, the interesting part is I am part of the Am I Free to Go community on Reddit. You can find me posting on there quite often. But it's interesting how people on Reddit have been going over the various parts of the this case. Sometimes they'll talk about some of the legalese and stuff like that. And oh, he's really trying to get that out there about the that one the irony of the radio in the background. And now we'll see how this turns out in the future. Will they shut down their phone lines what Tomka did? Will they shut down their Facebook page? I don't think so, but they definitely dug themselves into a hole, not as big as Watomka, but quite extensive with the way they set themselves up for failure on this. And this is actually in the news article I posted last night from WSPA. I threw up some information last night. The contact, some other people did, and people are definitely noticing what's going on and voicing their grievances. So, what do you guys think of this entire situation? Let's see here. It sounds like DA is going through with it. 1.8 now. Oh, Dave. Well, DA is pressing this. Trey should get in touch with the ACLU. The ACLU is not very dependable if you're trying to get a hold of them. They have limited resources. And so they can only pick and choose their cases based on what's going to improve their, I guess you could say, publicity and all that stuff. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I also understand the situation. I know the ACLU up here in Alaska is nearly impossible to get a hold of. Even the Bar Association has a hard time getting a hold of them. I wonder if the Wetumpka PD is glad to be out of the spotlight. Oh, yes, they are out of the spotlight for the moment, but they're going to be back in it. Go after the city attorney's bar card. That's the ticket. Well, you have to find something to go for on the city attorney's prior history. Something that he's done that would disqualify him. I'm also put it back on the city attorney's site here. But the thing is, when it comes to the city attorney, going after a lawyer's bar license, is you need to find something that they did that's pretty egregious that would allow the bar to have justification for taking their license. You can, if you end up having like a really bad defense attorney and stuff like that, you can file complaints with the Bar Association. So, on that part, this would be a start. And yes, it would be. This could be a start. Who knows? But as I said, I'll point out towards the beginning of the stream here, that his job is to defend the city. And he's going to do that through the best method he can. He can't just sit there and say, oh yeah, the city screwed up, the police department screwed up. No, he's being paid by the city to defend them. And so he's just getting his preemptive shots out there, saying what he thinks is going to give him the best odds. And go ahead, Red Lemons. I'd love to see what you end up coming out with. I would love to hear an update on that, what you can turn up and all that stuff. I don't see anything initially, but I haven't had a chance to really dig in. I got a lot of stuff going on at the same time. So there's a limited amount of research I can put into this. But also going back about the Wetumpka thing, I might as well go ahead and put this out. I was going to hold off for the moment, but I might as well push this out for Keith Golden over at Bama Camera. He has set up a GoFundMe, and he is taking donations. I will actually add this to the link here, and to the link of the final when the video goes up. But Bama Camera does have a GoFundMe. He's working on getting an attorney set up to handle this. Oh, what do you know? Show some love for the comments too, please. Someone already made that. Lol, who's donated to your sorry ass? You ain't shit stain. Yeah. Well, we already know who the shit stain is. It's this troll right here. But I know I was notified about this by Jeff Gray with On Your Oath. I sort of held on to it because I was waiting for Bama Camera to do his own personal video about it and promoting it, but he hasn't gotten around to doing it. He's been busy trying to get a lawyer, and he's supposedly gotten some good leads at the moment, but this is his thing. If you just do GoFundMe, the specific for this one is 42TZJYP8 up here at the top in the link bar. As I said, I'll add this into the description of the final video, well, as a video that comes out. So there you go. I would stick around and do a record my call-ins and all that stuff, but unfortunately I have to sort of get going. I have errands I need to run today and bills to pay, unfortunately. But that should pretty much wrap up everything that is important. Is there any final words that the chat wants to throw at me? This case could set precedents with future audits. If this case falls through the cracks, we're back to square one again. In spite of all the federal rulings, these cops have no idea of the law. Also contact foreman and the grand jury in that area. They have to investigate. That I never heard about the grand jury foreman having the ability to call for an investigation on something that hasn't been brought to him. Last time I checked, grand juries usually deal with the cases that are brought by the prosecutor. And yes, it's been a good one. I'm actually quite surprised. Let me take a quick look at our stream stats here. My thing. Also, the reason why I'm using Firefox as my go-to browser is because OBS, which I use to do the video record, well, do the live stream and all that stuff, is not able to capture the Microsoft Edge or the Google Chrome browser on my desktop here. So there, for whatever reason, it just shows a black screen, so I'm not able to play videos and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, that that Fox news site there, that local Fox affiliate, when I try to play it in Firefox, it doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to work on Edge. It only wants to work in Chrome, so that's why I did the pre-recording with that one. But wow, 25 people watching. That's way more than I was expecting. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will try to keep you guys informed. I do have one more video that I have recorded a while back about doing a test. It's a revisited of an area, and I'll try to get that up a little bit later this week. And all that. Thank you for the info on anyone can present to a grand jury. You don't have to be on the grand jury. That is quite interesting. I might have to actually look into that and see what can... that might be an interesting legal information video to put out. But thank you guys for tuning in. Also, the video that I had... Well, the music that I had playing at the beginning, I want to make sure I give proper credit, is for... it's called Scaring the Bejesus Out of Your Orchestra. And it's done by TechnoAxe. I'll make sure to have a link in the description for that on that part. So you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you later.